Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg hit back at Republican lawmakers on Thursday, accusing them of interfering in his office's criminal probe into former President Donald Trump. In a letter sent to 3 Republican House committee chairs seen by Reuters, Bragg's office confirmed the DA was investigating allegations that Donald Trump engaged in violation of New York State penal law. But the prosecutor called Congress's demand for documents and testimony related to the probe, quote, an unprecedented inquiry into a pending local prosecution.
You know what I say, folks? I say that it's unprecedented inquiry into a person who's been a president. That's what I basically say to Alvin Bragg's. All right, this guy who is politicizing and weaponizing the Attorney General's office of the state of New York, and he's saying that the Congress is saying it's an unprecedented inquiry into a pending local prosecution. As I said before, hey, I think it's an unprecedented inquiry into a president.
And one that arose, quote, after Donald Trump created a false expectation that he would be arrested the next day, and his lawyers reportedly urged you to intervene. Neither fact is a legitimate basis for congressional inquiry.
Indict. Congress doesn't need a legitimate reason, especially with the rules that you guys are playing by. All they need to do is say, you need to appear before Congress, issue the subpoena, and you better get your fat derriere over down to Washington, D.C.
Bragg's response is the latest shot fired in a public and politicized storm about a supposedly secret criminal proceeding. It erupted with new urgency after the former president forecast he would be arrested this week. It is unclear what charges, if any, Trump may face related to a $130,000 payment by his former attorney Michael Cohen to adult performer Stormy Daniels in exchange for her silence about what she says was a 2006 sexual affair with the married Trump. Cohen says Trump reimbursed him for the payment, which was falsely reported as legal fees. Trump denies the affair, maintains his innocence, and has called the investigation a partisan witch hunt. Legal experts have said Bragg's office may be trying to turn a misdemeanor charge over a falsified business record into a felony by suggesting it was an effort to conceal another crime, namely that buying Stormy Daniels' silence amidst an election may have been a violation of campaign laws. The Manhattan DA's office has been investigating Trump for some time, even under Bragg's predecessor. Bragg caught some by surprise when he revived the hush money payment probe earlier this year.
He resurrected this old prosecution, the Stormy Daniels prosecution, which had been called, and they literally called this in the district attorney's office, the zombie case.
John Coffey is a professor at Columbia University's law school and says Bragg is facing a difficult challenge and has made himself a political target.
You've got to find an offense that you can legitimately prosecute in New York State, and that's quite problematic, okay? Now, is he going to be criticized? Of course he's going to be criticized. This is a unique event that's never happened before.
If indicted, Trump would be the first U.S. president to face criminal charges.
So hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nasir, and what do we have on tap for you today? Well, as you saw by that video, it's Alvin, the Fatmeister Bragg. That's right, folks. This guy, blustering, blubbering buffoon. And you know what? If he wants to make a name for himself, he's going to go ahead and do it. He's going to think that this is going to elevate him. It's going to elevate the Democrats. It's going to elevate everything about the Attorney General's office in New York City. He'll be the first person, the first district attorney, the first, justice official to ever have the ability and the reasoning and the gumption, I guess, right? The temerity, the guts to go after a previous sitting president of the United States. Well, folks, he may do all that. We don't know. But I'll tell you what, as I said before in many of my other videos, that an indictment, it's going to backfire, folks. And that's exactly what this poll shows, that the majority of Americans think that charges will either help Trump or it'll have absolutely no effect. So let's get into that a little bit and see what's going on here. So there's a new poll that suggests that a majority of Americans that the looming indictment of the former President Trump by Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Blackman Bragg is going to backfire and either not hurt him or actually help him in his quest to retake the White House. The results of the poll conducted by the Convention of States Action in conjunction with the Trafalgar Group. Now remember, folks, the Trafalgar Group is the one that actually called the election pretty good in 2016, especially in the blue wall states. Remember Michigan and Wisconsin, those other areas, and Pennsylvania and Ohio? So results appeared they conducted fully after Trump announced last weekend that he expected to be charged, and showed that a solid majority of Americans believe the indictment is not going to hurt Trump at all. So here's what it said basically. Only about 25, let's say 26% think that it would hurt. 1 out of every 4, folks, that's not bad. And that's probably, just high because, again, remember, for whatever reason, even with Trafalgar and with the others, I have to take a look at this poll, but it seems that they do usually mostly oversample Democrats a little bit more than Republicans. But anyways, if you think it's going to be hurt by the party, look what it is. 43% hurt by Dems. That's under 50%, folks. That's well under 50% of Dems that think. So Dems themselves are saying it's not going to hurt him. And that's exactly what I've been saying for as long as I've been doing these videos, as long as this thing has been looming out there. That's what I've been saying. 11% of GOPs and around 28% of independents. Folks, these numbers speak for themselves. Now, so that's 74, almost 75%, 3 out of 4. It either helps him or no effect. No effect, folks. And it says basically that this poll, it's politically motivated witch hunt. It's designed to discredit him. It's not going to do that. To render him a permanent pariah in American politics. Nobody cares, folks. Look, they've thrown everything at him. They've gone after his personal life. They've gone after his business life. They've gone after his married life. They've gone after him with his children. They've gone after him for racism. They've gone after him for bigotry. They've gone after him for, all kinds of things. The emoluments clause, right? In terms of that he took, money from all these different countries and all these different places and benefited himself while he was in the presidency. They've gone after him using his children, gone after him using Melania, going after him using, his youngest son, Barron. They've gone after his charities. They've gone after everything that this man has. His whole life has been turned upside down. They've pretty much done a proctology, okay, on President Trump. And nothing ever works with these guys. But they keep trying. It doesn't matter. Their whole shtick, their whole idea is, we are just going to come after you and after you and after you with everything that we got, whether it's innuendo, whether it's speculation, whether it's just it's false, it's a fraud, it never existed, but it doesn't matter. We'll just throw it out there. We'll see what sticks, because some of it's going to stick with some people. And a majority of Americans, they know that he's being hounded. It's politically motivated. It is absolutely weaponized and politicized in terms of DOJ, the State Department, the FBI. And as I said before, this tactic, it's never worked. And these early numbers already show that it's going to backfire. Absolutely. And I said it before down there in terms of that. So we've already talked about Democrats, more than 57% believe the indictment would either affect or help Trump's cause. Among independents, more than 72% think the indictment's going to have no effect, none. Among Republican voters, that's where it is in the immediate term. Because these are the guys that are going to decide the primaries, it says before here. And they actually believe, and this is what they do, he has got more, he's going to have again, once the primaries are, he's going to have well over 90% of the Republicans on board, folks. And all those, rhinos and all the silent majority of the elitists and the establishment within the Republican Party, the senators, the congressmen like Romney and McConnell and Lindsey Graham, and even to some maybe Ron DeSantis and Ted Cruz and some of the others as well, they're all going to come around and they're all going to go and say, you know what, we got to back Trump. That's exactly what's going to happen. So as he talks about here, that about 89% of GOP voters believe that indictment would either help Trump, have no effect, whereas 11% say indictment would hurt him. 89%, folks, that's pretty much, as I said before, he's got it in the bag. He's got the Republican voters with him. He may not have the establishment, he may not have the elites, but he certainly has what we call flyover country, the average man and woman in the Republican Party. And there's no doubt about that. Anyways, we appreciate you taking the time to watch. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, like, share, and follow us. Let us know what you think below. You agree with the poll? You don't agree with the poll? And I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. We'll see you again next time, folks. Take care and stay safe.